Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, June 11th. Looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and the NQ. So, again, we always talk about it would be nice to have an accommodating day one way. Just doesn't happen. Once again, gap higher, trend A's up, gone. Trend A down, gone. Bigger picture, bulls still firmly in control. The ES had an incredible goal line stand, defending yesterday's low by 5 ticks, so they keep the daily up. Let's start with righty. Righty comes back into balance on the daily, and they have an outside day down. Okay, they took out yesterday's high, yesterday's low, and closed below it. Is that the end of the world? Of course not. But they're into balance, right? Probably call them a 3-day balance, right? Since they have the gap from Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The other thing is IWM poked its head above the 200-day moving average for the first time since February, but closed $2 below it. That's definitely something to keep an eye on, right? We'll see. NQ goes out with an afternoon rally high in H. That's it. Same with ES. We were both 8 wide. What's interesting is they got into the single print from September, not September. I keep saying September. February 21st, but they didn't fill them. Now, generally, and I told the room this, 3 months later, those become targets. It's not something to lean on for a short, but they become targets to fill. Now, could it be a possibility because the overnight highs were up there and we didn't get those? That's a reason, I guess. But you would have thought with value, it ended up overlapping a higher, but you would have thought with higher value at that time, the IB high, you would have thought trend A, getting at least one set of these single prints and getting the overnight highs should not have been that hard. But they didn't. We get both IBs 2 days in a row now, okay? We just got the overnight low. It was an okay day. I traded in my 4 different accounts. I'm not going to go over everything. It was accommodating early for the most part. I longed the gap fill in NQ and the 144 when it came down. I did take a long against the base of where the market spiked from at 8:30. I took a loss on it, but if I was a little more patient, it would have paid. By the way, we're going out. I'm using F's low as a price spike. It's not the greatest price spike because it's inside of value, but even though we didn't hold trend, when the market spiked below F, we never got really back inside of it. So I'm going to use F as a base of a price spike. So that's going to be kind of your hump level for the bears tomorrow. The bulls hump level is absolutely today's lows to see if they defend the one-time framing. I did get the long in B to get A's high. And I did get the long in C to get the IB high. So not bad. But then I took a loss in D period when they filled the single prints. Thought they would get a bounce. They didn't. F period, I took a loss. I took a long against half back at the time. And it pulled back some more. But I did get the short to get the IB low in F period. That was a very nice one. It was a lot of different ones. And these are all in different accounts. H period, I did take a short. I should have held it. I shorted it at 12. I said I'm going to use the opening as my out. It got the opening above it, came back. I took it off basically scratch, and then we freaking came down. So I should have been a little more patient with that. And then because the market was really pushing, I did some ebb and flow short in I period. I got the short in J to get the overnight low, which was nice. I took a long in ES against yesterday's low. I said, we're not trend yet in J. I said, the first time we'll see if we get a bounce. I made 6 points off of it. So that was a nice one. And then again, I was short in J and K period against initially the single prints and the one-time framing down. So, I mean, I took a couple losses in a couple of the accounts, but overall I had a good day. The intraday has been tough to read. You look at the market afterwards and say, well, look, yeah, this should be easy. We're up, right? Like all the time frames are up. But it's not trading that way, right? They got too long ABC, boom, they give it up. They try to attempt to rally, and I said to the room, I said, with higher value, overlapping, actually it was higher at the time, I said, we have to have full disclosure. Am I looking for an afternoon rally high on a day like today with higher value and the IB high at the time? Not really, but we did have the both IBs at that point. I'm like, you have to say it's a possibility. And that's why I had shorted H thinking that it would hold the opening. Now it didn't, but that's the last time we saw the opening. So it was the right idea. So, and we did have the afternoon rally high. So not a bad day overall. The volume, again, not bad. The volume is over average already. So decent ranges, volume decent. We're at 71 million. We're averaging 68. Can't complain. Triple Qs are at almost 52 million. They average 45. So we can't complain. So here you are, a goal line stand by the bulls to defend yesterday's low. Keep the daily one time framing up for 4 days. NQ is one time framing up on the weekly now, 7 weeks. Again, the all-time high is the big target that's in sight. Do we get any more of a pullback prior to going for it? That all remains to be seen. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.